Aloha kakayaka. My name is Isaac Barr, and I am here to present to you my senior capstone proposal, in which I titled it Isometrics, the Potential Solution. Okay. So first off, as a disclaimer, since I'm going to be talking about medical advice, any advice or exercises that I mention in this presentation, please consult a certified physician. And with that being said, let's move right on. A little bit about myself. My name is Isaac Barr. I'm a four-year student here at the University of West Oahu. I graduated from Kamehameha School's Kapalama in 2020, and I'm doing a dual major in both general creative media as well as general business administration. Now, today, the main topic is isometrics. And just out of curiosity, do any of you guys know about this topic? I have heard about this topic prior to me mentioning it. Oh, I see a hand right there. Oh, nice. So this is going to be today's topic. And for those that are unfamiliar with isometrics, it's essentially any exercise that is performed in a static or still position. Prominent examples include all plank variations, including the regular, side, or weighted, as well as the wall sit exercises, including regular, weighted, or the Spanish squat, which is a very interesting name. Having nothing to do with Espanol, the Spanish squat is a wall sit variation involving a resistance band that trains both the quadriceps muscles as well as the patella tendon. And as seen through the example right here with Dr. Aaron Horschig of Squat University, a social media personality, he's performing the exercise where you can see the resistance band is connected to this purple pillar. And essentially what it's doing is that it's drawing all the blood and tension into the upper leg muscles and the knee. And he's using it to demonstrate how this exercise can be used to treat patellar tendinopathy, or essentially what many call tendonitis. Or if you're a basketball player, like in the case of Michael Jordan, they called it jumper's knee. Now, here's my executive summary. My plan for my senior capstone project is to perform the Spanish squat exercise for 30 days and to document my progress on social media. My thesis is that I believe that isometric training can help everyone, not just athletes, because it can improve one's physical strength, concentration, as well as their overall well-being. And my objective is to determine what exactly can the average person gain from isometrics. Because when we think of athletes, they're training for a game or they're training, for recovery purposes or for some kind of exhibit. The average person, isn't involved in any of that. So I'm trying to find out what exactly can people get from isometrics. And the significance that I found from my research was that isometrics has been shown to increase longevity of one's career, as well as to save time spent on tasks, assignments, or anything of that matter. So this is a full-length version of my thesis statement, but in summary, isometric training includes a host of benefits to the human body, including training the muscular system in a timely and effective manner, reducing high blood pressure, improving concentration and memory, as well as rehabilitating joint-related pain such as arthritis or osteoarthritis or OA, as well as tendon-related pain such as tendinopathy. Now, I believe that such training like this is beneficial in the media industry, especially in my case, where I currently work as a production assistant in the film industry. This is definitely beneficial for people like myself, actors, as well as other people in the field, because it requires no equipment and it requires less time to stimulate the body than commercial weightlifting. Now, the objective is to, of course, determine the benefits. And as I previously mentioned, we're trying to figure out for the general public. So for the media industry, this could be journalists, people, it could be gamers, in the film industry, it could be script writers, it could be actors. So essentially anyone who is not an athlete or someone who devotes their time to a lot of training. Because if you consider the average person, um, a lot of people work, 9 to 5 jobs, work 40 hours a week. So even just squeezing in 1 hour can be difficult. And that is when isometrics comes in. Because not only does it, in some cases, require no equipment, but it can also save you some time. And for my senior capstone plan, this is a more in-depth version of what I plan to do for my senior project. My plan is to perform the Spanish squat exercise for 5 sets of 45-second holds and to document my progress each day using TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I chose these three social media platforms in particular because I realized that they bring in a lot of monthly active users. So the more people there are on the platform, more likely I'm able to essentially go viral and spread the word or the purpose that I'm trying to convey. And details of exactly what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be measuring my progress using like a pain score. So a little bit while ago, 3 years ago, I suffered from a very severe knee injury, patella tendonitis injury during a squat incident in preparation for a powerlifting course. And so when I was visiting my physical therapist, this is the first time I learned about isometrics as well as the Spanish squat. And essentially, what he told me to do is to determine the effectiveness of this exercise is to use a single leg slant board, which is essentially like a 45-degree board, and you just perform a single leg squat, do 10 reps of it, and then measure your pain score. If it's a 1 to 3 pain, that's good. If it's around the 8 to 10 range, that's kind of bad. And the reason why we use these single leg board squats is because what you're doing is that you're performing the Spanish squat prior to your activity. If it's work, if it's some kind of physical training like a workout, and then you use the single leg slant board to see if your pain has risen from the day prior or has decreased from the day prior. And this is how the reason why we use this is to measure if the progress is the factor, like if it's the program or if it's the Spanish squat exercise itself. So we use this to really single out what exactly is helping you instead of just saying Spanish squat is doing everything, when in reality, it may be the program you're doing. And then lastly, the purpose of this entire senior project is really just to determine if isometric exercises like the Spanish squat is it really good as it says to be from the research, or is it just a fad? And specifically, what I'm going to be testing for is knee health and quadriceps muscular strength. Now we're going to be studying the significance of this Spanish squat challenge, as well as isometrics as a whole. So the number one benefit is that it requires less time than commercial weight training. Interestingly, a journal applied research study conducted fairly recently in 2018 found that 6 minutes of isometric training equated to 30 to 35 minutes of commercial weightlifting. Now, that is an amazing statistic because if you're at, for instance, an office where you're constantly working and you really don't have that time available to train, like to go physically go to a gym, or you don't have money and you don't have a home gym at home, you can perform it within your office. As seen here, we have a lady over here. She's performing isometric push-up hold, which is good for your chest muscles as well as your shoulders. And then you have a gentleman over here performing wall sits, which is good for your overall posterior health. as well as your knees and your upper leg muscles. So this is good because it can be performed in a timely manner, meaning that you can save the trip going to the gym. And if you're working in the film industry specifically, this will be good during new deals, which is essentially a term we use when they're setting up for a new scene, where they're moving around the cameras. So this will be good for like the actors, production assistants, assistant directors, such forth, as well as during lunch periods. Second benefit is that it requires no equipment. Well, most of them. Another journal applied research study that was found in 2020 was that 4.1 to 15.9 times more muscular work in an equivalent time than a similar exercise on a weight machine. Now, what does that mean? Let's say that you're doing a squat, like some kind of squat exercise on a machine, like some kind of squat machine. By simply performing the walls, like a wall hold, like this gentleman, how he's just staying still holding it, he's able to stimulate his muscles in his legs 4.1 to 15.9 times, almost 16 times more, just by staying still in a shorter amount of time. So if you look at below, the average barbell and dumbbells evidently cost a lot of money. So this can definitely save you a lot of money if you're training on a budget or if you just want to manage your physical health. So definitely isometrics is a great alternative to weight training if money or financial issues is the factor. And future implications hold that it save you money, but also if you're working in the film industry or if you're a journalist, it could be done at your studio, it could be done within your trailer, or it could be done when you're filming on location, when you're away from the gym or you're away from like cities that you're out in the woods or somewhere. So it can be performed anywhere. That's a great benefit. Third benefit is that it reduces high blood pressure. Now, interestingly, in the state of Hawaii, as of 2018, 1 in 3 adults have hypertension. And essentially, that's a number above 140 over 90, which is considered high. So there was a study back in 2018 that was conducted on 20 men ranging from 45 to 60 years old. And they performed wall sits 3 days a week, so every other day, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And they found during that 8 week period that it decreased their systolic blood pressure by 8, which is that's amazing. That's a huge reduction over the course of 8 weeks versus the control group was 0.04. And they also found another additional benefit, how it helped normalize resting heart rate, in which they found a 6 reduction in beats per minute from 71 beats per minute to 65 beats per minute, which is fairly normal compared to the control group of 0.7. Now, this will definitely help Hawaii's hypertension crisis, but interestingly, I also found that high blood pressure has been shown to affect memory as well as cognitive performance. So with that being said, it can potentially, through isometrics, improve cognitive performance. And this is applicable if you're an actor. This could be like memorizing your lines. And a lot of reasons why days last very long is because, actors forget their lines or something just goes wrong. So isometric exercises can potentially help mitigate that issue and help save production companies on time spent filming numerous takes. Like, for instance, if we're doing one scene and it takes 5 takes on average, isometrics can potentially reduce it to 3 takes or 2 takes. Although there's no current study that has been done on specifically that in the film industry, it is a potential hypothesis of mine. And then lastly, one of the main reasons why isometrics is great for everyone is that it improves joint and overall tendon health. Unfortunately, over 32.5 million US adults experience OA as of 2020 from the CDC. And OA as overall makes it difficult for like any functional movements, so weight training, jogging, and even walking. So there was a study that was conducted on 40 subjects. This was done in 2019, in which it consisted of 9 men and 31 women, ranging from 40 to 70 years of age with knee OA. During this 6-week period, they did wall sits, 3 sessions a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And they did it for 50 minutes overall, but it wasn't in like one session. It was spread out throughout the entire day. So it actually averaged during each like miniature session during the day, it averaged about a minute to 3 minutes. And as a result of the study, they found a great relief in their knee OA. They also increased their quadricep strength and increased the overall range of motion, which is a really great benefit. Now, evidently, if we were to incorporate isometrics more into our general routine amongst all jobs, it could definitely decrease US numbers of OA. And in the film industry, that would be great for increasing one's longevity in their career. Because interestingly, a lot of people can rarely last, the average person in the film industry rarely lasts beyond 20 years. And one of the main culprits of that was osteoarthritis, OA. And this is particularly famous in the grips department, which are people that do screws, set up all these major buildings, these structures for the director. So they're doing a lot of twisting. So they get a lot of like carpal tunnel syndrome in the wrist, in their elbow, on their nerve gets screwed up. So potentially isometrics can help with that. As well as this is also evident in production assistants, which is my current occupation in the film industry. So even more, it's applicable to people like myself. Now, my targeted audience is for anyone and everyone, specifically people working office jobs, journalists, gamers, a lot of people that really sit down and don't get a lot of physical activity, people with joint or tendon related pain, as well as film industry workers who work on average 13 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week for roughly 6 to 8 months. Now, my proposed solution is to make isometric training a common practice as weight training. But the only issue with isometric training is that not enough people know about it. And even worse, there's not enough research to support it. Because if you want to think about it like this. Think about it like for height growth, for instance. A lot of people today still think that weight training, exercises like deadlifts and squats, stunt your growth. Now, weight training has been around for years. Numerous studies have been shown to go against that. But yet there's still a lot of people who still have this myth in their head that it can stunt their growth. So if weight training is having difficulty in like making itself more available to the general public, then it can clearly show that isometrics is definitely struggling in that field of gaining publicity. So therefore, what I need to do is that I need to increase the publicity of isometrics, disprove all myths, as well as to encourage more research, encourage more people, more scientists, more anyone to start thinking about it and actually considering, will isometrics help me? And that is why I prepared this right here. So my first stage is, this is in regards to my senior project. It is to create a progressive overload program to go with the Spanish exercise. So essentially what I'm doing is at the start of my workout day, I'm going to perform the Spanish squat. And then after that, I'm going to do my workout, perform the Spanish squat again. And then right after that final set of the Spanish squat, I'm going to perform the single leg squats. And then I'm going to note my pain score if there's any pain. And then 28 to 48 hours later, I'm going to do the same routine, and I'm going to note if my pain score increased or decreased. If it got closer to 10, then that means what I did the day prior was too much. So then I'm going to cut back on what I did during my workout. And if the thing, sorry, if my pain score decreased closer to 1, then that shows that what I'm doing is good in my training program. So therefore, I can either A, keep at it, maintain what I'm doing, or B, increase the workload. And the reason why I'm doing this is because research has shown that isometric training has been proven to increase joint health and tendon health. So if that is indeed true, if I use a regular progressive overload program, my pain score should stay roughly between 1 and 3 throughout the entire program. The reason being is because I don't have OA. I don't have knee injuries of any kind. So if my pain were to spike, that would be because the isometric training that I'm doing is just simply ineffective for the training program. Now, how does that apply to the general public? That leads us to our post part 3. And
Isaac,
that
I
is
just want to
when,
keep you mindful. There's 9 minutes left. Yeah, you need to leave time for Q&A. Yeah.
yes, this is the final part.
Okay.
Yeah. Essentially, I was going to say that I'm going to collect my audience's opinions and by using a polling feature, and I'm going to get their results, combine them with my results, and then put it all together into a final video. And with that being said, that is my senior project proposal. Thank you very much, all of you, for listening. And if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to take them. Thank you.